Hi, for this video what we're going to do is we're going to find the equation of a line, and this one we're given a point and the slope. And depending upon which course you're in or what your directions say, it could tell you to find the equation of a line given a point and the slope in slope-intercept form. It could tell you to put it in point-slope form, or it could tell you to put it in standard form. So I'm going to do it in all three forms, so that way you can write it in whatever form you're asked to put it in. The starting point for this one is because we're given a point and a slope, it makes the most sense to start with the point-slope form of a line. It's named the point-slope form because of the fact that you use this anytime you know the slope and a point. So for this, the point that it passes through is the x1 comma y1, so we would just plug that in, and m is going to be the slope. So if we look up here, basically that's telling us that this is our x1 and this is our y1, and the x and the y we leave because in the equation of a line we leave both the x and the y. And the 1/2 is going to be our slope. So with this, what we're going to do is we're going to replace our y1 with the -3. We're going to replace our m with the 1/2. And we're going to replace our x1 with the 2. So if your directions say find the point slope form, your final answer would be y plus 3 equals 1/2 x minus 2, and you would be done. Most of the time it's not going to ask for this. Most of the time it's going to want it in slope-intercept form. And so slope-intercept form, which is the most commonly used form of a line, is the y equals mx plus b. So what we're going to do is we're going to solve for y. So we're just going to take this equation and we're going to solve for y. So to get y by itself, what we need to do is we need to distribute the 1/2 into the other side. So we would have 1/2 x, and then half of -2. So if I do 1/2 times -2, if I distribute this in, we would get -1 because 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then we would simply subtract 3 from both sides. So when we do that, if it asks for the slope-intercept form, we would end up with 1/2 x minus 4. So this would be our final answer if it asked for slope-intercept form. The other form that they could ask for is standard form. So if it asks for standard form, standard form is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c must be integers. That means that there can't be any decimals or fractions. So if it wants it in standard form, what we would need to do is move the x to the same side. So we would have the -1/2 x plus y equals -4. And then because this is a fraction, we would have to get rid of it. And so to get rid of the fraction, we would multiply everything by -2. So I would do -2 times -1/2 x. That way it just gets, you don't have to do the negative. A lot of times we tend to have the first term positive, but it really doesn't matter. And then we would do -2 times y, and we would do -2 times -4. And so if we simplify this and put it in standard form, this would cancel out and we would be left with x plus -2, which is better to write as x minus 2y equals +8. So if it asked for standard form, you would proceed to this step. If it asked for slope-intercept form, you would stop here. If it asks for point-slope form, you would stop here. Sometimes with standard form, like I said, had I not multiplied by the -2 and just the +2, then I would have had negative x plus 2y equals -8. This would also be an acceptable answer for standard form. So if you have a multiple choice test or something, they could put it in either one of these forms and both of them would be acceptable. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know.